Hey guys, I'm Junichi and welcome to my weekly Pokevlog. So this week we got some new Pokemon X and Y information, and we can finally have our Pokemon actually do Swords Dance because we got a new Pokemon, which is a sword. So this week, Junichi Masuda, the Pokemon game director, released a video of himself talking about a few new things about Pokemon X and Y. One of the things being him talking about the Kalos region being inspired by France, which is quite bizarre because we all knew that it was going to be inspired by France way before this, because the first trailer ever released of Pokemon X and Y had Pikachu standing on the Eiffel Tower, and you know that just screams out France, and you can't not infer that that is based on France. But it actually hadn't been supposed to be announced until now, because the fact is, the E3 conference, not too long ago, Pokemon X and Y, the panel actually answered the audience's question, or one of the audiences, who asked something to do with Kalos region being based off France, and then was told after that he wasn't supposed to talk about the Kalos region being based off France, which is bizarre because we already knew. I don't know what Game Freak was trying to do, trying to cover it up, because they weren't really covering it up. They'd released a video of the Eiffel Tower. I don't know, but anyway, Junichi Masuda went through all the areas in France and that he got inspired by because he went to visit France a while ago, which of course I'm annoyed about because he actually had a picture of himself in front of the Eiffel Tower on Twitter before X and Y was released, when the new game was in development, and therefore I guess someone could have inferred that the next game was going to be based off France if they had paid attention to detail. But I didn't notice personally, and it was kind of a ambiguous sort of thing. But anyway, he went through all the areas he got inspirations from. The main inspiration is going to be Paris, of course, because it's the main city of France. It's kind of like how in Black and White the main city is New York, and therefore the main inspiration is New York, but they got other places in America. The other theory that we had previously was that possibly there's going to be other places in Europe that's going to be incorporated into the new Kalos region. Now, this was not mentioned in this video, so we kind of infer that maybe it's not going to have other European areas in it, but it could do. Another interesting thing is that if you see on the map, there's a part with stones, and he mentioned particularly this place was based off the Karnak stones in France. I think I beat you to it. Or sort of the northwest, you will see an arrangement of stones, and it's in columns and rows first of all, so these actually look like the Karnak stones in France, because they are sort of an arrangement of columns and rows of stones. So of course the big information that he did announce was the brand new Pokemon Honedge, which is a sword Pokemon that is ghost and steel type, because it's a sword possessed or with spirit living in it that's a ghost or whatever, so therefore ghost steel, which is a brand new type, which is quite interesting because the two pretty resistive types, but of course it's not the new ghost art type, and it's not going to have no resistances, but it is still quite an interesting type combination. There's not much else we can say on it other than the fact it kind of makes me think of Excalibur, which is kind of the British sword. It's from England, of course, from Arthur, King Arthur, and that old story if you don't know it. And therefore, it kind of makes me think possibly we might get a bit of England in there, because the way Karnak Stones is kind of makes me think possibly that area could be England as well, just like it's a monastery. It's very French, but it could also be English. I don't quite know. But we could have some element of England in there somewhere. Or Honedge could just be an ancient like king's sword from France or something, because France and England share similar history with kings and swords and things. So there's not much else to say on it, so let's move on to the question of the week. So why do you think Junichi Masuda and the Game Freak decided to wait this long to reveal the fact that Kalos region is based off France, but also reveal it in a weird way with Junichi Masuda announcing himself rather than a little trailer thing? Because they've always released things in trailers and little clips of the games and announcements of like sort of advert kind of things and put them onto the YouTube channel, and that's what I'm doing for Pokemon X and Y. But suddenly they have this video of Junichi Masuda talking, the Game Freak director, don't forget that, because that means he's sort of a big guy in the company, and he's talking about in fact being based off France and the new sword Pokemon. So do you think there's something going on there? Do you think there's some relationship or something hidden that they waited to tell us and therefore they're sort of keeping it? I don't know, I just think it's quite bizarre that they waited this long to reveal these two things, not reveal this one Pokemon with the fact that it's based off France, and we already knew that, and it's Junichi Masuda himself announcing it. Anyway, comment down below, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.